This is a tribute to the neshama of Rabbi Sholom Ber Stock. Passed away this week, I believe on the 18th or 19th of Tammuz, Tavshin Pei Hey. I knew Rabbi Sholom Ber. I can't say I knew him very, very well, but I want to share one episode that I had with him that makes him stands out for me and hopefully for all of you. Rabbi Sholom Ber was a Shliach of the Rebbe in Connecticut for many, many years. His grandfather was Rabbi Shlomo Aaron Kazarnovsky. One of Rabbi Kazarnovsky's daughters married his father. And Rabbi Sholom Ber learned in Toim Mimim throughout his life, and then he went on Shlichus. I don't remember the exact year, but it was probably 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago, I don't recall, but he opened up a camp called Camp Chomesh, Chaim Mushke Schneerson. It was in Connecticut. It might have been the beginning in somewhere else, but anyway, this camp, it wasn't, I'm not going to say it was a competition to Camp Emunah. Camp Emunah was the first girls' camp that the Rebbe established through Rabbi Yankel Hecht, Rabbi J.J. Hecht in 1953. And it's like the mother camp of all, Chabadniks, and guess what? Many other Chabadniks, non-Chabadniks. I have neighbors here, Bava Chassidim, their wives went to Camp Emunah. Camp Emunah it was the only Jewish from camp, Shliach Camp for women, for girls. For whatever reason, there was a need for another camp. Today, there are already several Chabad girls' camps in the greater New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area. Without going into details, I know someone whose daughter had a health condition that Camp Emunah, when she was when they were approached to take this girl, they felt they didn't have the proper staffing and nurse, and it was a responsibility that they felt as much as they would like to take every single camper, and they turned no one down. They had to turn this person down. And exactly at that time, the Camp Chomesh opened up, and they went to Rabbi Stock. And Rabbi Stock, without thinking much, he said, absolutely, I'm taking your daughter. Now, you might think it's because, he just opened a camp and he needs campers. No. He genuinely wanted that camper. And he worked with that camper. And he had the staff work. In other words, he really, really went out of his way and made others go out of their way to accommodate that camper. I know another situation years later of another camper who had another health condition. And again there too, she was in Camp Chomesh. So there was like a 25 year gap between the two campers that I'm talking about. Obviously, this was in his blood. The good Herzigkeit, the good heartfelt soul of this Rabbi Sholom Ber Stock was genuine. And when we talk about a person, a shliach, in particular of the Rebbe, this is the number one thing. And I'm not saying this, God forbid, to put down Chas v'Sholom Camp Emunah. Camp Emunah, you can't put down. It won't help you. Camp Emunah is a star. But nevertheless, it's important to recognize that when another camp opens up, it has and serves a purpose that sometimes a big camp can't accomplish. And the same is true with, today we have the large yeshivas and the large schools and smaller schools. But it takes an individual who's willing to accept campers, in this case, that the normal camp can't deal with them because they're too big and they don't have the facility, they don't have the staff, or they don't have the mindset. They're so overwhelmed. Rabbi Stock, Rabbi Sholom Ber, was genuine this way. I met him at a wedding just this past year. I believe it was this year or last year, a few years ago, the last 2 years. He was older, and he remembered me. I didn't initially remember him, but we spoke. And I can tell you that this came as a surprise to me. I don't know what happened. He wasn't a very old person. He was 78, according to what I read. May the Eibishter help that the kindness that he did for girls and giving them an opportunity and a chance to be in a Lubavitcher Chabad camp, to have a good time, to have respite, and to be in a Mizgeres, in an environment of Kedusha and Tara, of holiness and purity, with Chabad energy and Chabad influence, and to help them grow as a Bas Chabad, a daughter of Chabad, a Shluch of the Rebbe, and everything else. This definitely brings them right into the Rebbe's room up there, and together it will bring Mashiach, and we'll zeicha v'kitzur al Sheikh Na'ofer, Rabbi Sholom Ber Stock, b'teicham, amen, ken yirotzen. Thank you.